Darlings, welcome to Gianna Nannini, Untold Stories. Now, Gianna Nannini and myself, together with my ex-partner, Rosacher, we did a lot of videos together and live concerts and projects. So I could talk long, but I picked a few which, especially for my Italian friends, Viva Italia, should be very interesting. And definitely in Italy, they have not been told before. So stay tuned. This is Gianna Nannini, The Untold Stories. Bello Impossibile, a wonderful video filmed in a gas refinery, a little bit outside of Vienna. And it was a little bit inspired by a cool cult film called Brazil, if you know that, or look it up. And Gianna was playing a truck driver, and she was going around and so on. And also a James Dean lookalike played a role in that video. But the interesting thing was the following. At the time, I was a heavy smoker. I was smoking one cigarette after the other. And as far as I know, Gianna never smoked, but I was a heavy smoker. So when we started there, all those people, because it's a gas refinery, what does that mean? There were big, tons and thousands of liters of oil and benzene, because they were making benzene out of oil, so it was oil burn explosive. So there was absolutely no smoking. And my whole team and myself, we had a lecture. The people came in the beginning. It was very difficult to persuade them that we can film a music video with an Italian singer there, but we finally made it. So they said, you have to understand, it is absolutely impossible that you smoke a cigarette. If if that lightens up, the whole Vienna explodes. I mean, it's a firework that would be like Rome by Nero or something like that. So please, don't do anything like that. And they had 3 people who were standing with us, and I was so addicted to cigarettes that a few times I was thinking, yeah, let's do this, and I had already a cigarette in my eye, yeah? And then just said, no, please, Mr. Dolitz, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So that happened 3 times, but I never lit a cigarette. So we shoot a scene where Gianna is going with the truck, and a big silver something in the back. And in there was a smoke machine. In film, you use a smoke machine, which is basically based on water most of the time, so that smoke comes out. And we were at very top, because this refinery has great big buildings where you could look down, and we were filming it down. And I remember the cameraman said, oh great, the smoke is great, that looks fabulous, that looks great. And I looked to the smoke, and I said, yes, but I mean, this is much more smoke than a smoke machine can do. And then I saw there came fire out of it. Can you imagine? So what happened was that the smoke machine was overheated and was catching fire. And we who were not allowed to smoke a cigarette were suddenly, but we were up there 100 meters. you know how so we so I say go on, film it, you know. So the take is actually in the video, and then through walkie-talkie, yeah, blah blah blah. So we finished it. I mean, they wanted to throw us out, but I said, please, this blah, blah, blah. So finally we survived it. But imagine if that would have happened. No Gianna Nannini, no Rudy Torzal, and probably no half of Vienna. Bello e impossibile. Another great story I remember with Gianna Nannini and filming her videos was Hey Bionda. And I remember at the time, my Italian fans will know that better, there were discussions whether in Italy, yes or no, women or females should also go to the army with arms, with guns, you know, not only for, helping in hospitals and so on, but really learn to shoot. And Gianna Nannini had a very strong opinion on that and said, okay, we're going to film a video, but we have to film it in a country where women are actually, she doesn't want to have actors, but she wants to have female soldiers who are playing in that video. And of course, a country where that happens is Israel. So she wanted to film in the Gaza Strip, which, as you know, between Palestinians and Israel is a pretty dangerous kind of place. But I mean, Gianna, if you know Gianna, if she has an idea, you know, we go to Gaza, we film it there, Rudy, Hannes, you know, make it possible. I don't care. So we did it, and we went there, and we were actually finding a little sort of place where, where they also did training things, and it was in the middle of the desert. We're very, very, very good looking female soldiers, really beautiful. Gianna liked that a lot. She picked with us, of course, the female soldiers. So we are there in the middle of the desert, you know, and there were things where, you know, sometimes the camera and myself, we had to walk all the way up. It was sand. So of course, with my luck, it was, and you can look it up, I swear to God, this is true. It was the hottest day in the history of the state Israel. On that very day, we have to film in the desert. It was a coincidence. It wasn't planned to be the hot day, but it turned out to be the hottest day. So now you have to imagine, half of the crew was Israelis. They're used to the heat. The other half of the crew were Italians, like Gianna always had her hairstylist. They are used to warm weather. And Rudy from Austria. At the time, not so warm. We're talking many years ago. So, I mean, we had tents and everything, but it was unbelievably hot. So, of course, you have to drink a lot of water, you know, to stay hydrated. But it was like, I thought I'd die. And then I almost had a heat collapse, honestly, you know, it was yeah. So, but then the biggest problem was not the heat. In the middle of the shooting, and there was nothing. There was just this little barn or something where, you know, where the soldiers were in, and then they were making their shooting exercises and so on. And then I had to go to the toilet. I had to go to the toilet, but not, as we say in German, small, not pee-pee, but so what I'm gonna do? There was no toilet. So I had to walk until nobody sees me. So I stay in the middle of the toilet, take my pants down, go down, and yes, I was shitting in the desert on the hottest day of the state Israel. And you know what? I think it's quite a good video. Hey Bionda. So my final story on Gianna Nannini for today is actually not about a project. It's more a love letter. You know, I was privileged to do quite a lot of projects, videos for Gianna. Very instrumental was always her great manager Peter Zumsteg. He was actually Swiss, from Switzerland, who was very, very instrumental in a lot of the projects and the realization. I, for example, remember there was a long form DVD where where also the videos were on that one was or two was directed by Antonioni and another one by Bertolucci. So it was a project where, you know, Rudi Dolezal was with those famous Italian directors in on one product. I mean, we never met, yeah, but they were doing stuff and we were doing stuff. And but another thing was that, for example, we filmed quite a lot of concerts. One was called Giannissima, and a lot of other videos like I Maschi, Profumo, etc. And it was always a great experience to work with Gianna, and I love her. I think she is uh, not only by far the greatest artist, greatest artist, yeah, the greatest artist of Italy. Yes, for me she is. We also did the official video with Gianna Nannini and Edoardo Benato, Un'estate Italiano, which was for the FIFA World Cup that happened in Italy. The official video, which was shown in every stadium, always at the beginning, at the end, and in the middle of every game. So it was like, you know. So Gianna, to me, it's a love thing, you know. And Gianna, if you see that, I just wanted to say, although we haven't spoken in a while, nothing changed. I'm your Rudy, and I love you, and you are the best.